Anything that's green is something that they prefer early on in the spring.
What about astroturf?
Astroturf. I don't know if that's very tasty. Maybe it is.
Welcome, my friends, to the Undergrowth. This is where we speak to celebrated scientists and eminent educators about plants and pests. Let us embrace knowledge together on this expedition into mysterious realms. I'm Sebastian Eugene Bartholomew, and this is the Undergrowth. Today I am speaking with Dr. Erin Hodgson, an extension entomologist who holds a faculty position at the distinguished Royal Academy of Iowa State University. We are discussing the destructive insect pest known as the armyworm. Dr. Hodgson is part of the PPEM department, and for those of you who do not know, PPEM is an acronym for Paranormal Phenomena of Elegant Machines. Is that correct?
It's totally correct, yes.
That's right? 100% of the time. Very interesting, Dr. Hodgson. Will you tell us about the journey that you have taken to become an expert in field crop entomology?
Lots of school, lots of classes, and lots of research. Some of it worked out.
2 or 3 years? Is that more, less?
2 or 3 years times 3 or 4, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Always start with a question about telepathy, my cherished grandfather used to say. If you could control any species of insect solely by the use of brain waves, what insect species would you choose to control and why?
It would probably be Japanese beetle. It impacts farmers.
Right.
It impacts homeowners, pretty much everyone who's outside. So if I could tell them to just go away and go somewhere else, that would be pretty amazing. It would help out my work life quite a bit.
Right, so she would choose to do good with these telepathic insect controlling powers. So would you tell them all to fly towards the moon or some deserted Pacific island or something like that where they can never bother people again?
I might tell them to go to Iowa City.
Oh.
That's too much?
Iowa City, I see.
Okay.
You just send them Japanese beetles, right?
That'd be nice, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe liven up their campus a bit. What are armyworms and why are farmers concerned with them?
Armyworms are caterpillars, and they're very, very hungry, and they like to eat crops that farmers like to grow.
That does seem to be a problem. What kind of fields are armyworms most likely to attack, and how can farmers fight back against this scourge?
Well, we have a couple different kinds of armyworms in Iowa. Some of them sleep here in the winter. Others have to come up from the south.
Oh my.
Generally, farmers are most concerned about the migratory true armyworm.
Okay.
And they'll come up to Iowa in March and April where there's not a lot of corn up yet. And so the females try and lay eggs on things that are green. So it could be cover crops, it could be weeds. So anything that's green is something that they prefer early on in the spring.
What about astroturf?
Astroturf. I don't know if that's very tasty. Maybe it is. Yeah.
Those poor little armyworms hatching out and finding only plastic to eat.
Yeah, that would be a bummer.
So how do farmers manage armyworms?
You have to get out and do some walking. Because they're not everywhere all the time, they're sort of patchy, kind of like your mustache. So you have to get out and look.
I know everyone loves my mustache.
It's epic.
I thought more effort would be put into sending delegates to the armyworm kingdom to mediate a truce so our species could live in peace. I suppose that's why I'm not the expert, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. I think there should be a book about it.
Perhaps there should.
Armyworms in space.
Can you share any of the top secret weapons scientists such as yourself are working on so we can win this fight and save humanity? Gamma rays or insecticidal saturation of the atmosphere, some sort like that?
There's a concept called the green desert, in which if you do grow cover crops, you'll want to have those terminated, however you like to terminate your cover crops, before you plant corn. So basically it's a starvation technique. That's one really successful method. Another one is just taking care of your weeds. If you don't have weeds within and around fields, you probably won't have an armyworm problem. And then, unfortunately, sometimes they still persist, and so insecticides would be a last resort, in my opinion.
So much like real armies, you gotta hit them where it hurts, in the stomach.
Yes. We all like to eat.
Some of us could survive longer than others. If one has a question about how to battle armyworms, where can one go to find answers? Who can help them?
That is excellent. We have a number of ways to get more information. One is through Twitter, and we have a really nice cooperator trapping network that gives sort of latest and greatest information on what's happening, and we would post that information on Twitter. We would also post that type of information on our ICM News, which is hosted on our integrated crop management website. And then just reach out to us. You could contact the diagnostic lab, you could reach out to myself or Ashley Dean. You could also reach out to one of the 11 regional field agronomists, and they would be happy to help as well.
Dr. Hodgson is full of knowledge. You can tell that she has been battling armyworms for a long time. Tell me, as a general in this fight against armyworms, have we sent any spies to the other side?
I can't say.
Top secret. Indeed, Dr. Hodgson, I most heartily thank you for your expertise and eloquence in explaining to all of those intrepid learners out there the state of the war between humans and armyworms. Keep on fighting for freedom, Dr. Hodgson.
Yes. Carry on.
What a brave woman. Thank you, listeners. This is The Undergrowth.
Thank you.
How long do you think it would take for him to die? It's falling off.